Hello everyone, today I'm working on this C44-9 and this one's custom numbered, so that's kind of neat. I don't mind that, and it looks to be in really good shape. Actually, I think it runs a little noisy. Let's go try it on the track. So it runs okay, but noisy. So we'll be fixing that today. In the box there's a little baggie with the extra detail parts, which that's something that I like to put on, believe it or not. I really enjoy putting these on. So we'll do that last. We'll keep that for dessert. And let's open it up and have a look inside. I don't know if you noticed lately, but there's nothing cheap on eBay anymore. To the point where this I bought like 3 weeks ago, but last week I bought a brand new one because there was only a $20 difference between a used one and a new one. This is still going to be a good deal because, you know, I'm going to fix it up and it's going to be like new. Use your box to keep track of your stuff. And then I'm going to have the same use of it as if I bought it new, but for $20 I don't find that that's enough to make it worth getting an old used one as opposed to a new one. Oh, there's a little strip of underframe detail that's missing here. See what I mean? For 20 bucks you may as well get a brand new one. I didn't see that. It's not that obvious, but it's still missing. Everything looks pretty good here. Probably needs just a little bit of lubrication and cleaning. So we'll start. I already removed the gas tank, and then we'll remove this circuit board here. That goes there. And then I'll remove, I'll split the frame apart just a bit to release the trucks. This is pretty much the same drive system as SD40. Take a look inside, and the noise most likely comes from these bearings here. They just need a little lube. But I'm going to remove the motor just to be sure. So that's what I do. I start from the motor, and every time I add a component I'll be checking to make sure that that wasn't the problem. So I'll test it, just the motor, and then I'll start adding components and I'll test it again. I'm using the absolute lowest voltage. So this motor is very quiet. So certainly that's not the problem. So most likely it's these little black bearings that are being noisy. They don't look dirty, so I'm just going to add a drop of oil. That's all that you need. And then I'll reinstall that on the frame. You want these to be able to move just a tiny little bit. Somehow that helps the locomotive to be quieter. These run whisper quiet. And that's a good thing, because if you're going to do DCC and sound, you want them as quiet as possible so you can hear your sound program. So you can focus on that sound program. Yeah, it's all you need, just a little drop. And then that should be good for another few years. If the contact strips fall, that's not a big deal. We can put that back later. So now I'm gonna test it again with my test leads. I find these to be quite beautiful inside. So it's not noisy anymore. That sounds pretty good to me. So it had actually really good electrical pickup when I tried it 2 minutes ago. That wasn't an issue, but since I have everything in my hands, I may as well clean it. Even with DCC, having good electrical pickup is key, especially if you're using momentum. I think if you lose contact, it starts back at 0. So yeah, everything looks really good, but I'm still gonna clean everything just to make sure. So I'm running everything, the side frames, the gearbox, and the axles. Gonna run that under my toothbrush with some soap and some water. The water and the soap disrupts the electrostatic properties of the plastic. So if there's any dust sticking through it, you can remove it that way. Well, these look pretty clean to begin with, but still, like I said, since I have it in my hands, may as well make sure. Yeah, they're very clean. So I'll do the other 2 axles off camera. I'm still keeping my micro trains gauge handy. You never know. Now I'm gonna put everything back together. Pretty much the same as an SD40. Yeah, all these Kato engines, they run so quiet. You can tell they care about what they do. Beautiful. And you keep testing it with your finger every step of the way. Now this goes the other way. There's a slot for the gears at the bottom. They snap into place, and then check it again just to be sure. Beautiful. And I'll do the other one off camera. Now I can start putting everything back together. So the 2 frame halves, the contact trip, that's okay. What I'm doing now, I'm checking to make sure I have my 2 insulators. These are important. So the contact strip, that's no big deal. I can put it back in a second. I keep checking to make sure that everything's centered and it's not touching something it's not supposed to. And then I think I'm gonna put my gas tank here right now, so I can put my contact strips first, and then the gas tank will hold all this together. There. So then I can put my trucks back in. Use gravity as your friend. Just to spread it out just a little bit to allow it to go. And then check to make sure your contact strips are at the right position. These look really good. I think this one needs a little help. No, it's good. And then do the same thing for the other side. Just spread it out a little bit, just enough so you can get in there. There. And then I can bring my two screws back in. Now I just have to tighten them. They don't have to be super tight. In fact, I think the shell is strong enough to hold everything together. And that means that the locomotive would probably run without it. So what do you say we go on and try it on the track to make sure our issues are solved? Every time, I'm always impressed with how well these run. Never fails. So I think we're done with our noise problem, that's for sure. Very cool stuff. So I'm gonna need to test this some more. So how about we put the shell back on? Now before I put my shell back on, I'm gonna put on these extra handrails that go to the front here. They give you two of them. It's nice in case you lose one or break one, or in case you get an engine that's missing some, you can put them on. So let me work on that off camera. So I detach them one at a time and I put them on one at a time so I don't lose them. Now I can put my shell back on. Just want to make sure. And now it's time to run some trains. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly had fun making it for you. See you soon.